technological means.
Recently, in the police investigated a group of teenage babysitters on their 8-year-old charges. The police and the community say they solved the problem quietly through the juvenile criminal justice system. But it was reported that the babysitters had gotten their idea from hardcore porn on their parents' unblocked satellite TV. And then there are teenage girls who feel pressured to have porn star sex with their boyfriends. Inspired, presumably, by the pornographic tendencies of their role models.
If we don't get the feeling back into relationships, we're going to lose a generation of relationships. There are going to be more broken relationships. There's going to be more violence in relationships. There's going to be more... loneliness will escalate.
British psychotherapist Frances Emilius has studied the impact of porn.
Men keep on going back to it. One of the reasons they keep on going back to it is that it isn't working. That's the odd thing. It doesn't actually satisfy. You keep on having to do exactly the same thing over and over and over again because it's not touching the heart.
I think that the web itself leads to a lot of addiction and leads to a lot of depression. And the depression and the addiction comes because people aren't getting satisfied with real interactions. Their brain just doesn't get the proper biological feedback that it needs to say, I have made a connection, I did do something, I've met people and I have friends.
When we return, porn futurist Brian Schuster sees a day when cybersex will be therapeutic, not addictive. Sites in the U.S. Now he's moved to Canada. A better place to raise kids, he says. And it's where he's spending millions to populate a virtual swingers world called Red Light Center with interactive avatars.
Red Light Center is a virtual world. Everybody that you meet and every situation that you get into in this video game is actually a real situation. So there's real people behind every other person that you meet. There's live DJs and live music in the clubs. There's actual merchandise in the shops that you can shop for. It's a much more natural form of the internet. Instead of sort of looking at somebody's profile and deciding if they're an interesting person and having this communication with them back and forth by email, you're actually meeting the real person.
Schuster is looking far beyond X-rated recreations to an interactive technology that will strengthen marriages of couples who are separated by business or war.
We see that all the time with users who are in the Army, for example, that use Red Light Center routinely to reconnect with their spouse and report having much more fulfilling and rewarding relationships, and when they come back home, it's like they haven't been away in the same kind of way. The drugs are safe, the sex is safe, and they're all animated so that you never have performance anxiety. Plays to, this is what the fantasy is about. This is the best of the best.
Enable you to make love to them, so that a touch in Paris will be instantaneously felt as a digital caress in, say, Vancouver.
Within 10 years, the haptics technology, which is the teletouch technology, and of course for adult entertainment we call it teledildonics, the teletouch technology is going to be such that you're actually going to be able to reach out and touch things.
The person in Paris selects icons on a screen. Once they are both rigged up with sensor suits, he touches a specific part of her avatar. And that touch is simultaneously conveyed to that same part of her real body, thousands of miles away.
in 10 years, you'll be able to just visit remotely anyone, anywhere, in any sort of environment that you can imagine.
It seems impossible, but for visionaries like Schuster, it is the future of age. The addictive power of porn is everywhere, if you choose to look for it.
So the genie's out of the bottle. I don't think they can put it back. I think they're just going to have to live with it.
Wonder if
Jung's expanding universe suggests that we're getting sort of lighter and more enlightened at the same time, exactly the same time as we're getting darker and more debased. A principle.
Thanks for watching. DocZone returns next week with our acclaimed documentary, Air India 182. It was the worst mass murder in Canadian history. June 23rd, 1985, a bomb killed all 329 aboard an Air India flight.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
A chilling, step-by-step account of the 48 hours leading up to the destruction of Air India 182. Presented without commercial interruption. DocZone, next time. Remember, you can learn more about tonight's program at cbc.ca/docs. Thanks for watching.
Thrilling, exotic, full of surprises. Internationally celebrated Cirque du Soleil's Kuza, Sunday at 7 on CBC Television. CBC News.